What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. So as I'm recording this is not official whatsoever. I'm just tired of waiting, man. Like, this offseason has been very much on pause for the most part. I know a lot of free agents are already gone. We do have a couple of really good free agents like Sexton and Deandre Ayton. And of course, just like I said, I think there's way more things that could still happen this offseason when you got like a Kyrie Irving trade, maybe a Kevin Durant trade, which seems unlikely at this point, but they got Donovan Mitchell potentially being traded now. So a lot could still happen. But of course, the big thing is that's going around is that the Indiana Pacers can sign Deandre Ayton. Maybe it becomes a sign and trade with the Phoenix Suns. Regardless, this seems like something that might happen. So I am jumping the gun. While this isn't official, I'm sick of waiting. We're going to go ahead and do a Deandre Ayton Indiana Pacers rebuild today. Before we get into today's video, make sure you guys drop a like on this one. Of course, subscribe if you're new to the channel. As always, greatly appreciate it, especially since this is a Pacers rebuild. I feel like Pacers rebuilds are very neglected on YouTube, so help me out with that by dropping a like to kind of prove me wrong. That'd be greatly appreciated. Regardless, we went ahead and did the sign and trade Deandre Ayton for Miles Turner. Now, I don't know if this is exactly what it would look like because it feels like the Suns would be losing a lot of value just by swapping those two, but at the same time, at least you're not losing Ayton for nothing, and you do get a decent center out of it. I don't know if there's like picks involved. Well, I'm not sure what that would look like, but just to keep things simple, I just did a simple swap for the two. Maybe the Pacers have to include it first, even though they shouldn't have to because it's a sign-in trade. Like I said, leverage is kind of lost in those scenarios, but regardless, we have Deandre Ayton with Tyrese Halliburton. I honestly think the Pacers should go for this because what do you really have to lose? It's not like you were expecting to be a championship contender anytime soon, and you add Deandre Ayton and Halliburton together, and it just kind of makes a lot of sense in my opinion. So Deandre and Tyrese Halliburton. We still have Buddy Hield on the roster as well. Chris Duarte, Goga Badotste, O'Shea Brissett, T.J. McConnell, Isaiah Jackson, Jalen Smith, Benedict Mathurin. Of course, they drafted with that 6th overall pick, I believe it was, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 6th overall pick. Then Daniel Tice came from the Malcolm Brogdon trade. And then you got some other guys. But we need to go ahead and try to probably trade Buddy Hield as well because I feel like we get a draft pick for him as well. So if we look at the roster as constructed, Halliburton, and I do want to start Benedict Mathurin, which is kind of why I want to move on from Buddy Hield, and then Chris Duarte at the 3, which is fine. O'Shea Brissett at the 4, and you got Deandre, of course, at the 5 now with Goga. We actually have quite a bit of depth at this center spot, like a lot of depth, so we definitely need to figure that out a little bit. But let's go ahead and start with a Buddy Hield trade. I know the Lakers have been interested still, so if there is a good trade from the Lakers, I might accept it. If they do have to pivot from a Kyrie Irving trade, they can go to Buddy Hield, I guess. I got Covington, Luke Kennard, Steven Adams, and a first from the Grizzlies. Not too shabby there. Knicks, Mavericks. So it looks like the Lakers are not offering me a first. Or you do have this one where we take Joe Harris's contract on. And, well, I guess it's kind of the same thing. I guess the Nets would just be moving on from Joe Harris if they don't believe in him as much. I don't know. KCP, Otto Porter, Chris Boucher, Garrison Matthews, and a first. Yeah, the Spurs offer me a first, but they're not really in the market for a guy like Buddy Hield. So, kind of like this Nets one. Yes, we are taking on Joe Harris's contract, but at the same time, like I said, we are getting a first-round pick out of it, and it seems like the Nets are still trying to compete. If they don't believe in Joe Harris and they think Buddy Hield would be a much better fit, then sure, why not? We're going to make this trade happen. We'll get a first-round pick out of it, and we get Joe Harris and Buddy. It's just a simple, straight-up swap, pretty much, and we get a first out of it instead. And the Nets are still looking to be better, like I said, so they get Buddy Hield, who I guess you could argue is better, depending on who you ask. I mean, they're kind of on the same wavelength, but regardless, Joe Harris is here now. And I'm not going to buy him out or anything. I do want to get Naismith some minutes because, like I say, he also came over from the Brogdon trade. So I want to see him develop here if I can make him develop. And then as far as my center logjam is concerned, power forward spot, I guess we could try to move like one of these guys to power forward. I don't know which one would be the best. Like we got Jalen Smith. I guess Jalen Smith is better at spacing than a lot of these other guys. So I don't know if I could have like Jalen Smith, if I could say his damn name correctly, be the backup power forward for this roster. I will eventually try to move him back to center, but we have such a logjam right now. I think I'll roll with that. So we're going to like what we have there. Let's go to player progression. And we got, let's see, we got Halliburton and Deandre Ayton going up to 87, 88, which is nice to see. Isaiah Jackson, 78. Chris Duarte, 78. Jalen Smith up to 78 W. So yeah, this is all looking really good. I'm really liking how this roster is looking. So obviously we kind of have a very interesting backcourt with Benedict Mathurin and Tyrese Halliburton. Chris Duarte is out there. And then you're going to have O'Shea Brissett and Deandre Ayton. So this should be a very exciting Indiana Pacers roster, especially if they can get Deandre Ayton. Like I said, that'd be really exciting for them. But regardless, Power King's going to only land us at 22, so they're not very high on us, which makes sense. 9-man rotation, Halliburton, Benedict Mathurin, Joe Harris, Jalen Smith, Deandre Ayton, Chris Duarte, Isaiah Jackson, Goga Badotste, O'Shea Brissett. So I do have a little bit of a problem with this because I actually do want to start Chris Duarte. I really don't have any business playing Joe Harris, to be honest with you, and I'd rather much play Aaron Naismith because he's going to be a huge part of the future here, which I'm hoping for anyway. So I am going to go ahead and give Aaron Naismith a lot of minutes because I do want to see him develop if possible. So Aaron Naismith, and they want to start Jalen Smith. Do I care if they start Jalen Smith? No, not necessarily. I mean, that's fine, I guess. They want to start Jalen Smith. That's okay. I'll put Benedict Mathurin at 29 minutes. Okay, so liking how this is looking. Yeah, that's fine. I guess if they want to start Jalen Smith, no big deal. But I just want to see Naismith get some minutes. Proficiency is a 3-star perimeter centric. It's going to be, that's it. So we can only go up to a 3-star. So we'll leave that the way it is. Shot tendencies, we got Deandre Ayton kind of low. Halliburton, let's boost up a little bit. And then Deandre Ayton, let's maybe boost it up a little bit as well. And Benedict Mathurin's at a 70. So I want to see him shoot as well. Chris Duarte. So we don't really have like, we'll kind of see who becomes like the forefront scorer on this roster. But for now, we're going to simulate season number 1 after getting Deandre Ayton and trading away Buddy Hield. And we're going to see how this Pacer roster performs. And we'll try to thin the log jam up even more in the offseason and potentially try to add another young piece to this roster or something. So at the end of the season, Luke is your MVP. You got Chet winning Rookie of the Year, Drummond 6-man Giannis Defensive Player, Udoka Azubuike wins the Most Improved Player with, kind of filling up that Gobert void there. And then Nate McMillan Coach of the Year for the Atlanta Hawks with DeJounte Murray and Trae Young leading over there. But All NBA first team, All NBA second team, and All NBA third team. So exciting stuff for us as we actually got the 6th seed in the East. So we made the playoffs, which is actually really cool. So looking at the player stats, we had 25 from Tyrese Halliburton and then 18 from Deandre Ayton. So this is kind of what I wanted to see. And then 16 from Benedict Mathurin, 16 from Duarte, 10 from Isaiah Jackson off the bench, 9 from Jalen Smith as a starter. So not too shabby. Shot 32% from 3, so not too bad as well. Goga Dotson, 8 points, and Aaron Naismith with 7 points. So got him some minutes, and he shot 39% from 3, which is what I want to see. How many did he attempt a game, though, is what I'm wondering. 3.6. So, yeah, I want to see Naismith become a really good piece for us, and definitely got that out of him, so I'm happy to see it. So, hopefully he could be kind of a guy for us going forward. But regardless, we get to play the Brooklyn Nets in round 1, which we just made a trade with them. Obviously, we gave them Buddy Hield, so they have Buddy Hield, looks like, coming off their bench, which isn't too bad of an idea. Also, Cameron Thomas might be a stud for them this year, depending on how things look for them. But again, man, I am wondering what the Brooklyn Nets will look like when we march into the season. Will Kevin Durant and Kyrie still be on that roster? Is it going to be an awkward locker room all year? I'm just curious at how that's going to look. But regardless, let's go ahead and simulate current round against Brooklyn. I'm not expecting to win this series by any means, but hey, if we win game 1 and we upset them, we beat them in 6. Okay, I swear it's like when I don't expect to win, I win. But when I do expect to win, I get like upset or, get beat by an 8th seed. But I mean, Benedict Mathurin averaging 18 points in the playoffs is going to help out a lot. Halliburton's averaging 26.5. Aiden's averaging 22. So not too bad. And now we get to play the Boston Celtics. So obviously we gave them Malcolm Brogdon. So they are rolling out their deadly starting 5 of Brogdon, Marcus Smart, Brown, Chase Tatum, Robert Williams. Yeah, that's kind of a low-key kind of a death lineup for the Celtics. I feel like that's a really good lineup. So I'm not sure how much they're going to go to it because it sounds like they said that Brogdon's more of a 6-man in their eyes. Regardless, though, I don't expect to win this series, but just like I didn't expect to win in Brooklyn, you never know. And we're going to beat them in 7, of course. We're in the Eastern Conference Finals year number 1. We get to play the Hawks. Okay. So Nate McMillan versus his former team as well, not to mention. Nate McMillan coached the Pacers, didn't he? Or did he not? Maybe I'm mistaken. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure he did. He did, I think. Yes, with Victor Oladipo there. CJ McCollum, Dyson Daniels, Ingram, Zion, Valanciunas against the Grizzlies. So Pelicans versus Grizzlies over there. Are we really about to make the finals year number 1? I highly doubt it. Game 1, we're up 1-0. They even it up. Game 2 or game 3, they win. Okay, it's an even series. Can we go up 3-2? We beat them in. Bro, we're going to a game 7 year number 1 against the Atlanta Hawks. I'm not even going to change the rotation because things are just working out all too well. Bro, if we go into game 7, make the finals year number 1, I'm literally just about to go crazy. Come on, man. Can we actually do this year number 1? Oh, they took the lead back. Wow, we had that in the bag. We had that locked up. But unfortunately for us, we lose in 7 in the Eastern Conference Finals, which is way overachieving in my eyes. So now the bar is set so high for next year. I would have just rather have had a lottery pick this offseason. But unfortunately for us, we literally just set the bar so high for us going forward. We literally were 1 game away from the finals. We had a lead there and we blew it at the end. That's so unfortunate. But it is what it is, man. That's how it works. Player retirements got Kyle Lowry, Aldridge, Al Horford, Robin Lopez all retiring. Straight to the draft lottery we go. Again, I would have loved nothing more than to have a lottery pick right now and, add some young pieces to this core. But unfortunately, like I said, not really that unfortunate. We made it to the playoffs. So we have the 18th overall pick and the 27th overall pick from the Celtics from that Brogdon trade. So 2 first-round picks, still pretty cool. Staff signing, we got Rick Carlisle, which, of course, after the success we just had, no reason to make any crazy changes. let's go ahead and just get a bunch of guys on this roster, are in this coaching staff. That way we kind of have a full-on coaching staff for next year. But man, oh man, do I want to make another, we're going to definitely make another move, but it's definitely cool to see that this team is achieving here. But I mean, we kind of overachieved a little bit, I would say. So here I am on draft night, and I'm looking around the league, and honestly, man, there's a guy I want to go ahead and get on this Pacers roster that I think would make so much sense for us, and I think he'd be like a really good addition to this team. It would probably also help out the power forward position like quite a bit. And he is on a certain team right now that's also rebuilding, but at the same time, he could be available based off his past. So if you know who I'm talking about, it's a power forward. He's on a rebuilding roster, and I think he could make a lot of sense in Indiana. I don't think he'd cost too much to get, and we could technically match salaries as well with it. So I am looking at Jonathan Isaac in Orlando. So again, I don't know how available he is. Orlando probably just wants to hang on to him for the most part. But in 2K, we're going to pretend in this fantasy land, like we usually do, that Jonathan Isaac could be available for us. And I like the idea of bringing Jonathan Isaac over. The man is 25 years old, fits exactly what we need. He's like literally on the same timeline as some of the guys we already have on the roster. So I really like the idea of matching Joe Harris's salary with Jonathan Isaac, and of course giving them some draft compensation as well. So of course I don't want to throw like Benedict Mathurin in the trade or anything crazy like that. So it's really just going to be Joe Harrison like draft capital. So again, I feel like Jonathan Isaac could be gettable right now, which is why or it could be very cheap right now, which is probably why Orlando isn't trading him. Maybe they're expecting him to play a little bit and then his trade value just goes up. But I am willing to offer them the 27th overall pick to just get Jonathan Isaac off their hands. So let's see if they would be willing to accept this straight up. They do not agree to that, of course. Okay, I will give you... I kind of wish I had some other players under contract, like TJ McConnell. Joe Harris, a first, and TJ McConnell for Jonathan Isaac. I feel like they would accept this, and they do. So we get Jonathan Isaac on this roster. So I really like that addition for us. I think Jonathan Isaac, like I said, makes a lot of sense here in Indiana. We needed a guy that could play some defense, and I love the addition of Jonathan Isaac. Basically on the same timeline as these three, and I think it's definitely worth taking a chance on him. So very happy with that. So we trade the 27th overall pick, and we still have 18 in this draft. So let's go ahead and see who we can get at number 18. You got Brandon Miller on the board, and I think that's exactly who I'm going to take. And welcome to Indiana. So Brandon Miller is now an Indiana Pacer. So it's definitely going to be tough. We'll see what kind of minutes there are to go around. I do want to accept Aaron Naismith. I thought he had a really good year for us. Kendall Brown. So we are accepting a lot of team options here, but of course that's part of the process. Goga Bitadze is a free agent. I mean, if he comes back, I definitely wouldn't mind. But as far as free agency is concerned, you got O'Shea Brissett, which I definitely maybe want to get him back as well. But looking at the roster as constructed, you got Tyrese Halliburton, Andrew Nimbert is I think that's how you say it, but I could be wrong. So Benedict Mathurin and Dwayne Washington looks pretty good. You have Naismith, Chris Duarte, so obviously, and then Brandon Miller we just drafted. So I do want to see Naismith still be a huge part of the rotation. You got Jalen Smith and Jonathan Isaac, and then you got Isaiah Jackson, DeAndre Ayton. So we technically don't need O'Shea Brissett back as much as I do like the guy. We do kind of have a full roster. I mean, full rotation low-key. So I think we are just going to let both the guys we have walk, especially Goga, and then O'Shea Brissett, just because I feel like he could get a better opportunity somewhere else. I think I'm going to let him go as well. So I'm going to renounce Goga Bitadze. I don't really plan on keeping him around since we have Isaiah Jackson, so he can go get a job somewhere else as well. I don't want to just take players away from getting a better opportunity. So yeah, I like the rotation. I like the addition of Jonathan Isaac. We just made it to the finals. So I'm hoping with just the Jonathan Isaac move that kind of pushes over the top a little bit and helps us out even further, because I feel like Jonathan Isaac is that kind of guy that could do that, at least for us in 2K. But I'm going to go straight to player progression because I'm done with free agency. I like my roster as is. And we have Halliburton going up, Aiden's up, Jonathan Isaac. So everyone is kind of developing. Benedict Mathurin's up to a 79, which is nice to see. So hopefully he just continues developing Naismith up to a 77. So I'm glad Naismith, like I said, is developing and is going to be a huge part of what we do. So let's go ahead and load this draft class. We just made it to the NBA or to the Eastern Conference Finals, one game away from the finals. I don't know if we're going to be able to match that. I really don't. I think it's going to be tough. 2K set the bar really high for me, but regardless, we are going to give it our best chance. So 9-man rotation: Tyrese Halliburton, Benedict Mathurin, Chris Duarte, Jonathan Isaac, DeAndre Ayton, Isaiah Jackson, Jalen Smith, Naismith, and Dwayne Washington. I really love this rotation. I think it looks freaking awesome. Proficiency wise, we are a 3.5 perimeter centric. I'll probably leave it like that because we just had such a good year running the system. So we're going to see how things go this year. I'm hoping for some really good stats. I do want to push Jonathan Isaac's shot tendency up a little bit. One thing with Jonathan Isaac is he doesn't shoot a whole lot, obviously. 56 shot tendency. I'm going to move it up to like a 68 just to be something like that. So hopefully Jonathan Isaac could be a little bit of a better score for us, because I feel like he could be a really good offensive player if he puts his mind to it. So let's go into simulate this season, though. Let's see how we do. And hopefully with the addition of Jonathan Isaac and just kind of thinning up the rotation a little bit, we have another good year, but I'm not sure we're going to match what we did last year. We'll see what happens. So at the end of this season, Joel Embiid is your MVP. Victor Wembanyama on the Phoenix Suns wins Rookie of the Year. So it's kind of funny he lands there after they lose Deandre Ayton. That's kind of a convenient replacement. Shaedon Sharpe, 6th man of the year for the Blazers. Really hoping this man's a stud in real life once we get to that point. And then he wants 6-man animals approved. Okay, shout out to Shaedon Sharpe. All NBA first team: Luka, Garland, Giannis, Zion, Embiid. All NBA second team, you got Tyrese Halliburton making it for us, which is a W, 27-9. So yeah, Halliburton's been a stud. All NBA third team, all defensive first team, Jonathan Isaac making it for us, representing, averaging 9.5. Efficiency not so great, but that's okay. We're not, having him to be like our elite scorer, kind of our perimeter defender. But regardless, unfortunately for us, like I said, man, we got the 6th seed last year. Wasn't expecting too much. We got all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals, one game away from the finals, and now we're in the play-in tournament. So yeah, I said it was going to be hard to match what we did last year. Definitely sucks to not even been in the playoffs, just because I feel like we could have built off what we did last year, but unfortunately did not work out like that. So this is what the player stats looked like. Chris Duarte, Benedict Mathurin, they all did pretty good. So definitely want to see how this is going to go, and then we can kind of build from there. So get the Chicago Bulls in round 1. So Chicago, obviously very good roster. We'll see how things go. I obviously want to be in the playoffs, but if I can't be, I guess it's no big deal. So let's see if we can, win game 1 here against Chicago. We're at home for this one, going up against the 10th seed. It's a back and forth game. It's a close game, and we have it now, and we do win 103-121. So honestly, though, if 2K wants to give me the same simulation as last year, there is a possibility we could go pretty far, but we'll see. We get to play Detroit in round 1 if we do get there. So now we get to play Boston. So we'll see how this goes. I beat Boston last year, didn't I? So maybe we could do it again. They jump out to a huge lead in the first quarter. We try to, get it back in the second quarter, but yeah, I think it's safe to say we lost this, and we do lose 112-126. So from going to, not great. So we lost, unfortunately. Boston is going to upset Detroit, so maybe we could have done the same thing. You got a 7th and the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference Finals. That's typical 2K for you. You got Raptors beating the Warriors in 7. So Raptors beat the Warriors again in the finals. But regardless, LeBron James is retiring. Okay. But we gotta try to make something happen. So we are gonna have a lottery pick this offseason, which is kind of convenient, which is cool. So we have the 11th overall pick. Is there any way we could get lucky here? Because if we could, that would go a long way for us. So Nuggets are gonna get 14, which is fine. I'm going to just go to 11 because we're only at the 11th pick. If we could somehow get lucky, I'd be more than happy. The Bulls have 13. Shout out to them. 12, we have the Pelicans at 12. Hopefully this isn't me, as we do have the Pelicans. Okay, so let's see if your boy gets lucky. I highly doubt it. We're projected 11. Let's see if we somehow jump into the top 4 here, and we do not. So we have the 11th overall pick in this draft. Pelicans have number 1 from the Milwaukee Bucks. Very nice for them. An 11th overall pick for us. And then we also have, do we have anybody else's pick? No, I don't think so, unless we have the Nets pick, but apparently that is not the case. Okay, so maybe it's next year when that pick conveys, or maybe I got some other pick in return. I don't know. Perimeter defensive coach. Let's go ahead and get one, and let's fill this out real quick, and then we got to figure out how to get better, because we went from the Eastern Conference Finals to not making the playoffs. So we got to find a happy medium. So jumping into this draft with the 11th overall pick, we're going to go ahead and quickly select, we have Elijah Fisher on the board, and I don't think I could pass that up. So Elijah Fisher, welcome to Indiana, my friend. And honestly, we might have just gotten a steal. Isn't Elijah Fisher a stud? Or am I tripping? I could be tripping. Let's see. He is a 78 overall coming out of the draft. So might have got a really good pick there. So we're feeling pretty good about ourselves. We got Frankie Taylor in round 2. Player options got Benedict, Isaiah Jackson, Duarte. We'll bring them all back. Qualifying offers. Halliburton and Naismith are both free agents, which is the 2 I'm worried about. I do want Jalen Smith probably back as well. A lot of these guys, Dwayne Washington would mind him back as well. So definitely a very, very busy free agency class for us, as we definitely want, Halliburton wants a bag, which is fair because obviously he deserves it. Jalen Smith, Naismith, Terry Taylor. I'm gonna let the market dictate. I'm gonna let the restrict free agent dictate what these guys get. So I'm gonna, of course, match Halliburton. There's no reason not to. So Tyrese Halliburton is gonna be back. They want to renounce Jalen Smith. I disagree. Desmond Bane is out here, so he got an 87 as well. So that's kind of cool. But I'm going to rely on Benedict Mathurin. We also got Elijah Fisher now, like I said. So Halliburton, Benedict Mathurin, and Elijah Fisher. You got Chris Duarte, Brandon Miller. Then you have Jonathan Isaac, Deandre, and Isaiah Jackson. So I honestly think I can move on from Dwayne Washington comfortably since we just drafted Elijah Fisher. So I'm going to move on from Dwayne Washington. And then the rest of these guys, I do want Naismith back, though. Like I said, I wanted to turn him into something in this video. And I feel like I've done that for the most part. So I'm going to give him a 4-year deal to come off our bench. So Naismith, welcome back to Indiana. And then same thing for Jalen Smith. He wants kind of the same money that we just gave to... Sure, I'll do it. Jalen Smith, welcome to Indiana. So we'll bring him back as well. And then Terry Taylor, I mean, if he comes back as qualifying offer, he comes back. No big deal. Okay. So it looks like we used all of our money. So now we are kind of relying on Elijah Fisher to make an impact. Kind of relying on some development here. Not going to lie to you. But you know what? I'm okay with that. Because I feel like with a little bit more player progression, we should be in good standings. I don't know. I could be aggressive here and obviously make a big trade. And like just put this team over the top right now. See, it says my main targets are Warren and Miles Bridges. That's just not the case at all for me. So I want to see like immediately somebody I thought of that could be fun is getting like Michael Porter Jr. here on this team. But at the same time, I kind of like the idea of Duarte still being there. I don't know. It's an intriguing idea if we got like Michael Porter added some size and some scoring there in the small forward spot because we have been a little undersized at 6'5". 6'5" is not terrible, but it's not ideal at the same time. And I don't know if I would be able to match his salary anyway. I could, but I don't know if I want to. So yeah, you know, I would try that. And I think that could be a lot of fun. So we could definitely go for that. He's making 34 million. So that's going to be tough to match without giving up a lot of my depth, which I don't like the idea of. So you know what? I think I'm going to roll with what we got. I'm going to roll with what we got, and I'm going to hope it's good enough. So let's go to player progression, and hoping year number 3 just treats us so much better. So we got all those guys coming back. Halliburton's up. Benedict Mathurin's not progressing as much as I would have wanted him to in 2K. You know, usually these draft classes have these guys like super juiced, and they just like develop like crazy. But unfortunately, Benedict Mathurin not doing that for us. Elijah Fisher, hopefully he's a stud. I'm pretty sure he is, but regardless, maybe what we could do is start Elijah Fisher with Halliburton and put Benedict Mathurin at the small forward spot. That's definitely an option because I'm looking to definitely have like a really good year for this team. So looking at the rotation for this team, we got Halliburton, Benedict Mathurin, Chris Duarte, Jonathan Isaac, Deandre Ayton, Isaiah Jackson, Jalen Smith, Elijah Fisher, and Aaron Naismith. So I really do love the idea of maybe starting Elijah Fisher, just giving him the opportunity. Benedict Mathurin moved to the small forward spot. Chris Duarte moved to the backup shooting guard, and then Elijah Fisher guarded the 2. What do they think about that? What is the ideal? So Halliburton, Elijah Fisher, Benedict Mathurin, Jonathan Isaac, Deandre Ayton, Isaiah Jackson, Jalen Smith, Chris Duarte, Aaron Naismith. I really like that. I like that a lot. Proficiency, we're 4-star perimeter centric. I'm going to roll with it. I'm going to see how this is going to go. I'm going to let Elijah Fisher get some minutes. He looks like a stud, so hopefully that is the case. We're going to simulate season number 3. We're going to see how things go, and hopefully we're back to being a playoff team. Maybe like a top contender out east. That would be really cool. So at the end of the season, Tyrese Halliburton wins MVP, averaging 28 and 11, 50, 40, 90 club. Literally been an absolute stud. So basically, he's worth every penny we gave him this offseason. So love to see that. Cody Kelly, Rookie of the Year. Daniel Gafford, your 6th man on the Washington Wizards. Giannis, Defensive Player. Amari Bailey, Most Improved. And Willie Green, Coach of the Year. So Dylan Shaw, Executive. So all NBA first team for Tyrese Halliburton. You love to see it. Honestly, I feel like we're about to have a lot of good members here. So all NBA second team, nothing. I was wondering if Aiden made a team and he did not. But all defensive first team got Jonathan Isaac representing. And then we should hopefully have Elijah Fisher, on all rookie first team, averaging 15 points per game for us, which is a freaking W if you ask me. So love what we got out of Elijah Fisher starting at the 2, which is what I was kind of looking for. So player stats, we had 28 from Halliburton, 16 from Benedict, 15 from Aiden, 15 from Fisher, and then 11 from Isaiah Jackson, 10 from Chris Duarte, 9 from Jonathan Isaac, 9 and then 6 from Aaron Naismith. not too shabby at all. Obviously, we are looking to win some, win a championship this year. We were very close year number one when we shouldn't have been, but now I feel like we've developed this roster where I want it to be. We get Charlotte in round one, and honestly, I think we were just much better on paper. We do have to deal with LaMelo, but we have Tyrese Halliburton to cancel him out. So hopefully things go our way. So summoning game one against Charlotte, we do beat them by 6, 26 and 26. Game two, we're up 2-0, so beat them by 4 that game. So they're definitely having us, giving us a tough game. 3-0, then 18 from Jaden Hardy, then 29 and 22 from Halliburton and Jalen Smith. and we beat them in 4. So we are on to round 2, take care of business, and now we get the 6th-seeded Detroit Pistons, who upset the 3rd-seeded Cleveland Cavaliers, and then got the Knicks as the number 1 seed, beating the 8th-seeded Celtics. Okay, here we go, man. We're getting to... Oh, okay. This is a tough roster I'm looking at right now. Jaden Ivey, Cade Cunningham, Sadiq Bey, Marvin Bagley, Jalen Duren, Sexton, Thomas Bryant, Jalen Williams. This is a really good roster that Detroit has, honestly. So I'm a little nervous. Game 1, we're up 1-0. Beat them by 28. Wow, okay. Game 2, we lose. Game 3, we lose. Bro, I don't want to lose in the second round, man. Not after all this. I'm going to an 8-man rotation, and we're gonna win Game 4. I don't want to go down 3-1 to Detroit, so I'm gonna go ahead and simcast Game 4. So hopefully we can take care of business Game 4. We won the first quarter. Second quarter is won by them, and they're taking the lead and running with it. Can we win this game? No, we lose by 3. We're down 3-1 to the Detroit Pistons, but you know, anything is possible. Maybe, just maybe, we can come back from this, and Detroit maybe can just like stop winning this. Why is Detroit so overpowered in this game, man? They're gonna beat us here, and we're gonna lose and come up short 130 to 108. 27, 21, 21. All right, I feel like we're gonna go one more year on this. Pelicans going to win the championship over the Hawks. We're gonna go one more season on this. I like my roster as constructed, so I'm not gonna do anything crazy. I'm gonna kind of rely on Benedict Mathurin and Elijah Fisher to develop just even further and hope that's good enough. So as far as pick compensation is concerned, I don't think we have a single like crazy pick. We have that pick from the Joe Harris trade finally conveying. We have 23 and 29, but ultimately not gonna worry about it. I do want Rick Carlisle back. He's been great, so just get him back hopefully, and he is back. So we'll leave that all the way it is, and we're just going to go straight to player options, and we're going to run it back, man. So once again, Tyrese Halliburton is your back-to-back MVP. So let's just run it. As we went 70 and 12 this year, okay. All right, I did not know we won. I didn't know we were that good. Holy moly. Okay, so Elijah Fisher developed pretty nicely. Benedict Mathurin is, you know, okay, so yeah, 18 from Elijah Fisher, 15 from Benedict Mathurin, 15 from Ayton, 12 from Brandon Miller. Got some minutes this year. All right, man. Let's get to it. We just went 70 and 12. If we get upset by an 8th seed here to start things off, your boy's gonna be upset. 70 and 12. Somebody come around against Atlanta. We beat them in 4. I have all the confidence in the world. We're literally playing the team that eliminated us last year. But going 70 and 12, I have all the confidence in the world, and we are going to beat them in 6. No, going to a game 7 against Detroit. Okay, Detroit could really ruin my dreams here, man. We ran it back one more year, went 70 and 12 on that thing. Come on, man. We got to win game 7. Cannot lose to Detroit here to end off the video. They're going to take the lead. They might run with it. Can we take it back? Please take it back. Please, please, please. Yes, let's go. We beat them by 5. 21-14 from Elijah Fisher. W. Halliburton 25 and 8. Okay, now we get Orlando. So we made a trade with them way earlier in the video. They have a good roster themselves. Game 1, we're up 1-0. Game 2, 2-0. 3-0. And can we beat them in 4? Let's go. Detroit is the only team that gave us problems, and now we can play the Rockets, who have Jabari, Jalen Green, Tyler Hero. They're playing Jabari at the 3, which is interesting. But regardless, game 1, up 1-0, beat them by 2. Game 2, up 2-0. This is a good start. 2-1. Can we go up 3-1? No, they even it up. We got to win game 5. Okay, we win game 5. And we beat them in 6. Let's go. We won a championship for the Indiana Pacers at the end of the video. So it was good that we ran it back one year. Halliburton won back-to-back MVPs as well, so would love to see that. But we swept Atlanta, swept Orlando, but we had to deal with Detroit and we had to deal with Houston. But at the end of the day, this roster we put together ended up winning a championship for the Pacers. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Drop a like if you did enjoy. This is Crushables. I'm saying peace. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click here to watch another video that I know you'll love.